The park pavilion had been dressed up with colorful streamers, and a big banner stretched across the front that read Harrison Family Reunion 2025. 73 relatives showed up for our yearly summer gathering. Long tables were piled high with potluck dishes. Kids were tearing across the grass without a care in the world, and adults stood around in little clusters, deep in conversation. My mother had spent the last 8 months organizing every detail of this reunion. I sat alone at a picnic table near the drink station, slowly sipping a glass of Sauvignon Blanc. Not far from me, my sister Lauren was holding court, flashing her phone to a group of aunts and cousins while scrolling through pictures from her Cancun vacation. "This was our beachfront suite," Lauren said excitedly. "All-inclusive resort, 5-star food. Mom and Dad paid for everything as an early 30th birthday present. 2 full weeks of pure luxury." My mother beamed with pride. "Only the best for our baby girl." I took another sip of my wine. Baby girl. Even at 30, Lauren was still their baby. That's when Uncle Mark, my dad's younger brother, sat down across from me on the bench. He lived in Austin, ran a successful architecture firm, and was one of the few people in my family who actually remembered to text me on my birthday every year. "Emily," he said with a warm smile, "it's good to see you. You're looking great." "Thanks, Uncle Mark," I replied. "How's Texas treating you?" "Hot as hell," he laughed. "But business couldn't be better." He reached over and grabbed a cookie from the plate between us. "Speaking of which, how's life in that beautiful house you bought? Must feel amazing owning a $1.3 million home at 32. The chatter around us didn't stop right away. Took about 5 seconds. Then everything shifted. Lauren's voice cut off mid-sentence as she'd been talking about the resort spa. Her phone slowly lowered, her thumb frozen over the screen. My mother's smile stiffened and stayed that way. My dad, who had been scooping up potato salad, straightened with the serving spoon still clenched in his hand. Uncle Mark didn't notice any of it. He kept going, clearly enthusiastic. "That Craftsman in Laurelhurst was such a great find. Historic neighborhood, tree-lined street, close to everything. And you bought it before the market went completely insane. Closing in April was perfect timing." My mother finally spoke, her voice tight. "Mark, what house?" Uncle Mark blinked and looked back and forth between us, his friendly expression giving way to confusion. "The house Emily bought. The 1920s Craftsman on Elm Street. I closed on April 22nd, I said evenly. Purchase price was $1.3 million. I put down $390,000 and financed the rest at 6.7%. The serving spoon slipped from my father's hand and clattered against the table. You own a house for over $1 million? Yes, I said. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, original hardwood floors, built-in bookshelves, and a restored fireplace. It's 3,200 square feet on about 1/3 of an acre. The inspection showed the foundation was solid, so I moved forward. Lauren stared at me, her mouth hanging open. Where did you get $390,000? I saved it, I said. I've been a data science director for 8 years, Lauren. Before that, I spent 6 years working my way up from analyst to senior analyst to team lead. Tech companies pay very well for specialized skills. My current base salary is $215,000, and my bonuses average around $65,000 a year. The pavilion had grown noticeably quieter. Conversations at nearby tables faded as people realized something serious was happening. My mother gripped her paper plate with both hands. You're saying you make almost $300,000 a year? Last year it was $287,000 with bonus, I replied. This year should be similar. I set my wine glass down. I've been telling you about my career progression for years. You just haven't been listening. Uncle Mark's face slowly shifted as realization hit. Wait. You didn't know Emily bought a house? No, my father said weakly. We didn't. And you didn't know her job title, Uncle Mark added carefully. Or her salary. At that moment, Aunt Diane, my mom's sister, walked up to the table. Emily bought a house? She asked. $1 million house? In April, I said. 7 months ago. Lauren set her phone down, completely forgetting about her vacation photos. How did we not know about this? Because you never asked, I said plainly. In 7 months, not one of you asked where I lived. No one wondered why I stopped mentioning my apartment. No one cared enough to ask about my life. My mother's eyes filled with tears. That's not fair, Emily. We've just been busy. Busy with what? I interrupted. Busy planning Lauren's vacation. Busy celebrating her promotion to junior marketing manager. Busy redecorating her apartment with furniture you paid for. I turned to my sister. How much did Mom and Dad spend on your Cancun trip? Lauren's face turned red. $12,000. $12,000, I repeated, letting the number hang in the air. When I bought my house, the biggest purchase of my life, I got a thumbs up emoji in the family group chat. That was it. No congratulations. No questions. No offer to visit or help. Just a thumbs up. My father finally spoke again. You told us in a text. I texted because you didn't answer when I called, I said. I left 3 voicemails. You never called back. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to April. Here. Look. I held up the screen showing my call log. 3 outgoing calls on April 22nd, each under 10 seconds, all straight to voicemail. Below that was the text I sent. Closed on my house today. So excited to finally be a homeowner. 1920s craftsman in Laurelhurst. Can't wait to show you both. The response 5 hours later was a single thumbs up emoji. My mother stared at my phone like it was written in another language. We were helping Lauren pack for her trip. For a trip that wasn't happening for another 2 weeks, I said quietly. You had 14 days to follow up. You didn't. Uncle Mark set his cookie down, suddenly uninterested in eating. Emily, can I see pictures of the house? Of course. I opened my photo album and handed him my phone. He scrolled through images of my home, the blue-gray craftsman exterior with white trim, the wraparound porch with hanging flower baskets, the living room with exposed beams and the restored brick fireplace. He paused on the kitchen with its subway tile and butcher block counters, then the backyard where I'd planted roses and herbs. Emily, he said softly, this place is stunning. The restoration alone must have cost a fortune. I put another $80,000 into it after closing, I said. New roof, updated electrical, refinished floors, bathroom renovations. The structure was solid, but it needed care. I smiled. It's my dream house. I wake up every morning grateful I found it. Uncle Mark passed my phone to Aunt Diane, who gasped. Emily, this is absolutely beautiful. The craftsmanship really spoke for itself. My phone kept getting passed around to nearby tables as more relatives leaned in to look. Cousins crowded close, along with second cousins I barely knew, all murmuring their appreciation under their breath. Grandma Evelyn, the unquestioned matriarch of our family, studied each photo slowly and carefully, like she was committing every detail to memory. When the phone finally reached my parents, my mother's hands started to shake. She scrolled through the pictures as tears ran freely down her face. This is your house, she whispered. It's incredible. Her voice cracked. Why didn't you make us listen? Why didn't you force us to pay attention? Because I shouldn't have to force my own parents to care about my life, I said evenly. I shouldn't have to beg for basic interest in my accomplishments. I tried for years, Mom. Every promotion, every milestone, every piece of good news, I tried to share it with you. And every single time, within 5 minutes, the conversation turned back to Lauren. Lauren had gone pale. I didn't know. I know you didn't, I said. Because they protected you from it. They made sure you never had to question whether you were getting too much attention. I was getting so little that there was nothing to compare it to. My father carefully set the phone down on the table. Emily, that's not, we didn't mean to. Didn't mean to or didn't notice? I asked, looking straight at him. There's a difference. One is an accident. The other is choosing not to see. Grandma Evelyn spoke up from her chair. How long has this been going on, Emily? Since Lauren was born, I said. I was 4 years old enough to remember being the only grandchild, and old enough to notice when the new baby became the center of everyone's world and I faded into background noise. My mother broke down sobbing. That's not true. Mom, you missed my college graduation because Lauren had a dance recital. You forgot my 30th birthday last year. but threw Lauren a surprise party for hers 3 months later. You visited her apartment 17 times in the past year. You've never once asked for my address. The number hung there, heavy and undeniable. 17 visits versus 0. Uncle Mark slowly shook his head. Linda, Robert, I've watched this play out at family gatherings for years. Emily starts talking about her work, and you interrupt to ask Lauren about her day. Every time. Aunt Diane nodded. We all noticed. We just didn't know how to bring it up without blowing up the family. So you let it continue, I said. Not accusing. Just stating the truth. Everyone saw it happening and stayed quiet. Cousin Ashley spoke up from the next table. I'm sorry, Emily. You're right. We should have said something. More voices followed. Apologies from aunts, uncles, and cousins who had watched me slowly disappear over the years. My mother looked around at the circle of faces, at all the witnesses. We're terrible parents. To me, yes, you have been, I said calmly. To Lauren, you've been attentive, supportive, involved. Everything I needed and never received. That's the hard truth. You were capable of being good parents. You just chose not to be that for me. Lauren wiped at her eyes. I'm so sorry, Emily. I've been a terrible sister. You've been a pampered sister, I corrected gently. There's a difference. You're not responsible for mom and dad's choices, but you're old enough now to recognize the imbalance and decide what kind of sister you want to be going forward. She nodded, still crying. My father's voice broke. What do you want from us, Emily? How do we fix this? I don't know if you can, I said honestly. This isn't about one missed call or one forgotten text. It's about 32 years of being the invisible daughter. About every achievement being minimized, every need brushed aside, every milestone overshadowed by whatever Lauren was doing that week. Uncle Mark leaned forward. For what it's worth, Emily, that house purchase was incredibly smart. A historic craftsman in Laurelhurst, that property is going to appreciate a lot. You're building real equity. Thank you, I said, smiling at him. That was exactly my thinking. And thank you for knowing enough about my life to ask about it. Of course, he said. You're my niece. I'm proud of you. Then he looked at my parents. That's something she should hear from you more often. My mother reached across the table toward me. I am proud of you, Emily. So incredibly proud. Are you? I asked, pulling my hand back. Or are you saying that because 73 family members just watched you realize you've neglected me for 3 decades? She flinched. That's not fair. Fair would have been asking about my house hunt when I mentioned it last year. Fair would have been celebrating my promotion to director with the same excitement you showed when Lauren became a junior manager. Fair would have been treating both your daughters like they mattered equally. Lauren stood up abruptly. I need some air. She walked away fast, her shoulders shaking. My father watched her go, then turned back to me. She's upset. She should be, I said. She's realizing her entire understanding of this family was built on favoritism she never questioned. That's painful, but it's necessary. Grandma Evelyn cleared her throat. Emily, I'd like to see this house of yours. When can I visit? Anytime, Grandma. I'll text you some dates. Good, she said firmly. I want to see what my granddaughter built while her parents weren't paying attention. She shot my parents a sharp look. I told you 10 years ago this was happening. You didn't listen. My mother's makeup was completely ruined now. I know, Mom. You were right about all of it. Uncle Mark stood. Emily, I'm heading out soon, but before I go, are you happy? In your house, in your life? I thought about my craftsman home. The morning light pouring through the original windows. My garden where I drank coffee every Sunday. My office where I worked remotely 3 days a week. A life that was whole and entirely my own. Yes, I said. I really am. Good, he said, pulling me into a hug. That's what matters. Keep being amazing. And send me more pictures of that house. I love a good restoration project. I will, I said. After he left, the reunion slowly restarted around us. Kids ran back to playing. Adults returned to their food and conversations. But my parents remained frozen at the table, the weight of 32 years of neglect finally settling in. My father spoke quietly. Can we see it? The house. Can we come visit? I don't know, I said. Can you stay interested in my life beyond one guilt-driven visit? Can you remember where I live 6 months from now? Can you stop treating every little thing Lauren does like it's breaking news, while my biggest life moments get reduced to footnotes? I want to try, my father said. We both do. Trying isn't enough, Dad, I replied. Either you change or you don't. I'm not going to walk you through how to care about me. I'm done making this easy or comfortable. I spent 32 years shrinking myself, staying quiet, and making it convenient for you to overlook me. That stops now. My mother covered her face with her hands. We've lost you. No, I said softly. You just finally noticed I've been gone for a long time. I stood up and picked up my purse. I'm going home. To my house. The one you didn't even know existed. Emily, please. My father began. I need time, I said. Time to see whether I believe you're capable of real change. Time to decide if I want to let you into the life I built without you. And time to heal from 32 years of being invisible. I walked across the park toward my car. Behind me, I could hear my mother crying, my father trying to calm her, and cousins whispering among themselves. I drove back to my Craftsman on Elm Street. I pulled into my driveway and took a moment to look at it, the blue-gray siding, the white trim, my rose-filled garden, and the porch where I spent most evenings with a book. My phone buzzed. Lauren. Can I visit? I want to see your house. I want to know you. Really know you. I typed back. Maybe. I need time to think about it. Another message came in. Uncle Mark. You handled that with incredible grace. I'm proud of you, kiddo. I smiled and replied, thanks for caring enough to ask. Inside my house, I poured myself another glass of wine and stood in the living room beneath the exposed beams, the restored brick fireplace warm behind me. This was my space. My accomplishment. My phone rang. Mom. I watched it ring 3 times before letting it go to voicemail. It rang again, Dad, this time. I let that one go too. I sat out on my porch as the sun dipped below the trees, listening to the neighborhood settle into evening. Dogs barked. Parents called their kids inside for dinner. Life unfolded all around me. I built a good life here. A full life. One my parents had known nothing about. The question now wasn't whether they wanted in, it was whether I wanted to invite them. And no matter what they chose to do, I knew I'd be okay. I owned a $1.3 million house with my name on the deed. I had a career I built through grit and persistence. I had a life that didn't depend on anyone else's approval. I was enough. I always had been. They just never saw it.